Even now, I can see that day as clearly as if it were yesterday. It was the day my best friend Edsell died. His death wasn't something we saw coming. Edsell was the definition of life. He was healthy, always cheerful, the kind of person who could walk into a silent room and leave it echoing with laughter. But then, in less than a month, he was just gone. Snatched away by a bizarre illness that left every doctor we saw completely baffled. It all started so innocently. A mild cough, nothing to worry about, we thought. But then came the weakness, a profound fatigue that seeped into his bones. His family, desperate for answers, took him everywhere. They went from modern hospitals with their sterile white walls to old faith healers in remote villages, burning incense and chanting prayers. Nothing worked. The village elders, with their ancient wisdom, whispered that he had offended the earth spirit. Of course, we dismissed it as old folklore. Who really believed that stuff anymore? But then, we watched, helpless, as Edsell began to wither away, like a vibrant green leaf turning brown and brittle before our very eyes. In his final hours, each breath was a struggle, a painful gasp for air that his lungs refused to take in. His family decided to make one last frantic rush to the hospital. But when they tried to lift him, something was terribly wrong. His body, which had become so frail, felt as heavy as a block of solid stone. It took 8 grown men, straining with all their might, just to lift him from the bed. And in that very moment, as his body was finally lifted, he took his last breath. He was gone. The strangeness didn't end with his death. At the funeral, another bizarre event unfolded. As the pallbearers lifted his coffin to carry it to the hearse, they exchanged confused glances. It felt light, impossibly light, as if it were completely empty. We all felt a chill run down our spines, a silent question hanging in the air. Was he really in there? We proceeded with the burial, trying to push the unsettling feeling aside, telling ourselves it was just grief playing tricks on our minds. But soon after Edsell was laid to rest, the truly inexplicable things began to happen. The sightings started. His ex-girlfriend, Nadine, was the first. She called me, her voice trembling, swearing she had just seen Edsell standing outside her school gate, just as he used to when he'd wait for her. He was just standing there, watching. Then other reports started trickling in from friends and neighbors. People claimed to have seen him at the local market, browsing the stalls, or walking through the bustling mall on a Saturday afternoon. The descriptions were always the same. He'd be standing there, a faint, gentle smile on his face, and just as you recognized him, he would vanish into thin air. Then it was my turn. I was standing at a street food stall, a place Edsell and I used to go all the time. I was waiting for my kwek-kwek, lost in thought, when I noticed a man standing nearby. There was something familiar about his silhouette, the way he held himself. My heart started pounding. He slowly turned around, and my breath caught in my throat. It was him. It was Edsell. He looked right at me and gave me that soft, calm smile I knew so well. And then he just faded. He dissolved like smoke carried away by the wind. I stood there, clutching my chest, the hot food completely forgotten in my hands. I wasn't the only one. Another one of our close friends, Rez, had his own encounter. He was at an internet cafe deep into a game. He swore he felt a presence beside him and looked over to see Edsell, sitting in the empty chair, silently watching his screen with that same serene smile. Rez blinked, thinking his eyes were playing tricks on him. And in that split second, Edsell was gone. The chair was empty again. Soon, the stories were all over town. People started calling him the Wandering Soul. The thing is, he didn't appear as a terrifying spectre or a ghostly apparition. He looked solid, real, almost human. He looked exactly like the Edsell we all knew and loved, just quieter. Some of the elders began to put forth a new theory. They said he wasn't a ghost in the traditional sense. They believed his spirit had been taken by an elemental, an asterisk encanto, asterisk, and that he was now living in their realm, a world parallel to our own, and that every so often he found a way to cross back over to briefly visit the people and places he had left behind. I don't know what to believe. Was it mass hysteria, fueled by our collective grief? Or is there really another world hidden from our view where my friend still exists? I don't have the answers, but sometimes when I pass by that old food stall or walk past the internet cafe where he and Rez spent countless hours, I get this unshakable feeling, a feeling that someone is watching me. And I know deep in my gut that if I were to turn around, I'd see a familiar face looking at me with that same gentle, knowing smile, Edsell's smile. Thank you so much for listening to my story. It means a lot to share these memories. If you have any similar experiences, I'd love to read them in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more stories like this one. Take care and see you next time.